All right, let's dive right in. Everyone's talking about generative AI, especially how it's going to completely change software engineering. But what happens when all that hype actually hits the real world? That's what we're going to unpack today. The good, the bad, and what you, as a leader, absolutely need to know to make sense of it all.
Okay, so let's just start with this one. Big statement. Generative AI can now write software. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi thing. It's happening right now. These large language models, they've been trained on just massive amounts of public code, and they can spit out brand new software just from a simple sentence you type in.
So naturally, this leads to the question that's probably keeping a few people up at night, right? So do we still need software engineers? And of course, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It's way more complicated than that. So let's get past the clickbait headlines and figure out what's actually happening on the ground.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the promise. Because to really get a handle on the risks, you've got to understand why everyone is so excited in the first place. And trust me, when this stuff is used right, it could seriously change how we build software, for the better.
But hang on, before we get too deep, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is generative AI? Well, it's not just about looking at data. This thing is a creator. It takes these huge neural networks, feeds them just tons and tons of data, and then it can generate brand new stuff. We're talking text, code, images, you name it, all from a simple little prompt. So for an engineer, this is, well, it's like getting a superpower. Seriously, think of your normal code completion, but on steroids. It can write whole new chunks of code for you, help clean up old, messy stuff, and even act like a mini security expert, sniffing out vulnerabilities. It can even whip up test cases to make your code more solid. And it's not just about code. It can create images, audio. It's like having this brainstorming buddy that never gets tired.
Okay, but here's where things get tricky. This amazing power? It's got a dark side. If you just jump in and start using these tools without thinking it through, you're opening yourself up to some really serious risks. And a lot of them are things people just don't see coming.
Let me paint you a picture. You've got an engineer, right? She's been banging her head against the wall for hours, stuck on this one gnarly bug. She's frustrated, so she does what anyone might do. She opens up one of these powerful public AI tools, copies a big chunk of her code, and pastes it in. And boom, the AI finds the bug in like 2 seconds. It feels like a miracle, but is it?
And this is the million-dollar question. That code she just pasted, where did it go? Because the second she hit enter, she might have just sent your company's secret sauce, your intellectual property, right out the front door. And the thing is, once it's out there for good. You're not getting it back.
And listen, this isn't just some made-up story. This actually happened. An engineer found a fix, but he also created a massive IP leak. And what was the fallout? The legal department went into full-on lockdown mode and just blocked access to all these external AI tools. That's how fast the dream of AI productivity can turn into a legal disaster.
But it's not just about leaks. The code that the AI writes, it can be like a Trojan horse. First off, the quality can be all over the place. It might even introduce new bugs. And worse, it could spit out code that's copied from somewhere else. Maybe something with a super restrictive license like GPL. Now your whole product is in legal hot water. So here's the bottom line, and this is really important. AI code is not magic. A real human engineer still has to review it, understand it, and maintain it. It has to be treated with the exact same level of scrutiny as any other piece of code.
Now, things get even more complicated when you stop just using AI to help your engineers and start building it directly into the products you sell to customers. The stakes, they just got a whole lot higher.
So you're faced with this classic choice, this fundamental trade-off. Do you want control or do you want convenience? You can go with the third-party AI. Super powerful, easy to get going, but you give up a lot of control. Or you can host it yourself. You get total control over the model, over your data. But yeah, it's going to take a lot more work and a lot more money up front.
And when you really break it down, the trade-offs are pretty stark. Using someone else's closed-source model is quick and dirty, right? Low effort to set up. But you have zero control, and the cost can skyrocket if you use it a lot. Self-hosting? It's the complete opposite. It's a heavy lift at the start, but you get all the control, and it's way cheaper in the long run. There's really no one-size-fits-all answer here. It all comes down to what you can afford, how much control you need, and frankly, how much risk you're willing to take on.
But here's the thing, and it's a big one. It doesn't matter which path you choose. Third-party, self-hosted, whatever. You have to face one simple, unavoidable fact about generative AI as it exists today. It is going to make mistakes. It's just built into the system.
So let's talk numbers. 90%. That's pretty much the best case accuracy for a lot of the top-tier language models out there today. And, 90%. That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? An A-.
But hold on a second. Let's put that in perspective. In normal software development, if your product had a 10% error rate, you would never ever ship it. It would be a total disaster. But with AI, that error rate is kind of baked in. It leads to this thing you've probably heard of called hallucinations, where the AI just confidently makes stuff up out of thin air. And these hallucinations aren't just funny little quirks. They have real, expensive consequences. Take this airline. Their chatbot just invented a fake policy for bereavement fares. When a customer tried to use it, the airline said, nope, not real. Well, they got sued. The airline tried to argue that the chatbot was its own thing, but the judge was not having it. The court basically said, it's on your website, it's your responsibility. End of story.
And it's not just the AI making random mistakes on its own. People will actively try to break it. You might have seen this one. A car dealership's chatbot got tricked by some clever users into agreeing to sell a brand new SUV for $1. It just goes to show you, if you don't put the right guardrails in place, your fancy AI can be weaponized against your own company.
So we've got this incredible promise on one hand, and these pretty scary pitfalls on the other. So what do? What's the smart way to move forward? How do you actually use this technology without getting burned?
The key here is to be deliberate. You can't just bolt on ethics at the end. It has to be baked in from day one. Step 1, what are you actually trying to do? Define your purpose. Step 2, think about the people. Who's going to benefit? Who might be negatively affected? And can they opt out? And maybe most important, step 3, who's in charge? Who owns this thing? And who gets to pull the plug if it starts going off the rails?
And this all brings us right back to where we started. So are robots coming for the engineers' jobs? The answer is a clear no. But what AI does do is change the job. It creates a need for a whole new set of skills. You absolutely need humans watching over these systems. You need people who are experts at cleaning up data and getting rid of bias. You need MLOps people who can manage these AI models just like any other piece of critical infrastructure. So no, AI doesn't get rid of engineers. It just changes what an engineer looks like.
Look, at the end of the day, this technology is moving incredibly fast. It's breathtaking, really. And there are no easy answers here. AI is actively creating our future right now. And here's the thing to remember. The rulebook for this new world isn't being written by some government committee. It's being written every single day by the choices that engineering teams and leaders, people just like you, are making. So the final question is, what rules are you gonna write?